Hi, my name is James Miglin. I'm a criminal defense lawyer here in Toronto, and I'm an OGen volunteer. And I've been asked to help explain to you how James Forcillo was convicted of attempted murder in the shooting death of Samuel Yatim. I'm going to try to do so in under 2 minutes, and there's 5 quick points. Point number 1. While many of you probably think about this case as being one shooting, the way the Crown pled or presented the case was actually as 2 shootings. The first were 3 shots that were fired while Mr. Yatim was standing up on the streetcar holding the knife. And then about 5 seconds later, there were 6 more shots that were fired. At this point, Mr. Yatim was on the ground, having already been struck by the first shots. So not one shooting, 2. Second point, the evidence or medical evidence presented at trial established that the first 3 shots were fatal. One of them severed his spine. I believe one of them punctured his heart. The medical evidence also showed that the second shots, the 6 shots, were not fatal. In other words, the first shots caused the death, not the second shots. Brings me to the third point. In order to be convicted of murder in Canada, and really anywhere, your actions have to cause death. So in other words, think of an example. No matter how hard you tried to kill somebody, poisoned them, tied them up, threw them in the lake, beat them up, if you don't actually kill them, you're not guilty of murder. Fourth point, justification. The jury clearly found, and whether you agree with it or not, is a separate point, but that the first shot was a justified use of force. In other words, that James Forcillo was authorized or justified by law to shoot those first 3 shots. Or more accurately, the jury had a reasonable doubt about whether it was justified or not. Finally, to put all of this together, what we have therefore is a shooting where the first 3 shots were justified or permitted, and they're the ones that were fatal. The jury clearly found that the second shots, the 6 that came later, were A, not justified, presumably because Mr. Yatim at that point was lying on the ground, and second, that they were shot with the intention to kill Mr. Yatim. Putting this all together, I'm going to give you 2 quick examples. Number 1, imagine, just flip it around, that the medical evidence clearly showed that the second shots, the 6, were in fact the fatal cause of death. Then Mr. Forcillo would have been guilty of murder. Second example, imagine that the first 3 shots missed Mr. Yatim completely, but as a result of the shooting, he fell down, struck his head off a seat, and the evidence showed that it was in fact the head hitting the seat that killed him, not the second 6 shots. Mr. Forcillo in that case could still have been convicted of attempt murder because at this point, when he fired those 6 shots with the intention to kill, it was not justified.